The World Health Organization estimates that a quarter of the world's disease burden is due to contamination of air, water, food, soil, and more.
Safety is the single most fundamental part of living. This week, meet innovative companies striving to achieve zero waterborne diseases and zero contamination. Watch DuPont presents The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero.
Safety is the most important consideration for all living beings. We build homes so that we can feel safe. We have a whole set of professionals dedicated to maximizing security and minimizing crime. We have government departments focused on food safety, labor safety. I could go on. Suffice to say, safety is of paramount importance to all of us, and yet risks abound. The World Health Organization estimates that a quarter of the world's disease burden is due to contamination of air, water, food, soil, and more. It's important we try to address this as we aim to maximize safety for humanity. Hello and welcome. I'm Manvi Dhillon and you're watching DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero. And today we're on a quest for zero safety risks. And we're focusing specifically on safety risks due to contamination. Join us as we follow some innovative companies and enterprising individuals who are dramatically reducing the risk to human life by bringing contamination down to zero. Joining me now is Dr. Homi Bedwar of DuPont. He's Regional Technology Director, Asia Pacific. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero. Thank you very much for joining us on the show.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Manvi.
Safety. We all have very strong thoughts on the subject, but I'm not sure how much time and energy we actually give to real fundamental safety.
Safety is a very personal journey, and each one of us has to kind of personalize it and think of it in a way that we're comfortable with. You know, we have over 1 lakh deaths a year just on the roads, and Indian roads are the biggest, I'll use the word, killers of people anywhere in the world.
On the show today, we're focusing specifically on contamination. Is contamination a larger issue in India than, say, anywhere else in the world?
Air pollution, for instance. India's cities are known for extraordinarily poor air quality. You live in Delhi, right? I think you can feel, breathe, and maybe even touch the air because it's so heavy and laden with contamination. And unfortunately, Delhi is one of the top cities in the world where air pollution is the worst. So it's not an enviable statistic at all.
And that's just air.
And that's just air. And then I think we know about water. Water is so critical for us everywhere, villages and in the cities. And groundwater contamination is another huge area where we have some major problems. So those are, I think, the things that we need to really address.
After the break, we visit a location that is symbolic of our quest for safety, a hospital. But how are hospitals kept safe from contamination? Find out in a moment. You come to a hospital to get treated, to feel healthy and safe and protected against illness. Your expectations from a hospital are fair, but it's a formidable task for a place that's dealing with germs and bacteria of all kinds to negate the risk of infection. Today, we take a look at innovations that are equipping our hospitals with the technology to remain sterile against harmful bacteria and microbes. A place where hope battles disease every second. More than any other space, a hospital needs to provide a safe environment.
Due to illness, many of the patients are having a very poor resistance power to fight against the infections. Usually such patients may get infection from other infected patients of the hospital, but they are also at a risk to get the infections from the bacteria which may be present into the hospital environment. And that is why it is very critical to keep the hospital environment free of such infectious agent.
Filling this crucial need for a sterile environment in critical care areas is Parth Patel, Director of Radiant Enterprise and the inventor of the dry fog fumigation system, Aerojet Steriz. Parth, your products are meant to disinfect and maintain sterile environments. How did you get interested in this space? What drew you to this particular project?
See, I saw a major potential need for these kind of disinfection machines in healthcare and pharmaceutical sector, because they used to use an orthodox conventional method of lengthy toxic method of formalin fumigation. And the most important thing what I could see that this healthcare and pharmaceutical sector had a very open mind toward newer technology and newer innovation, and they were ready to adapt.
The Aerojet Steriz generates ultra-fine dry vapor that disinfects the environment where it is installed. It's an airborne disinfection machine placed on a rotating table called rotofog, which ensures uniform disinfection across the space. Don your engineer's hat and in scientific terms, walk us through exactly what your machine is doing.
So this is a machine which does the job of disinfection in a very fast, safe and effective manner. This has got a high-speed motor which will with the use of this high-speed motor, the air is blown out of this nozzle, and the liquid gets sucked and will aerosolize itself, and you'll have a disinfectant aerosol sprayed across the space, and that will kill the microorganisms present in the environment, and the process is done after 1 hour.
The Aerojet Steriz fumigation machine offers a superior standard of disinfection. It's custom engineered for sectors like healthcare, pharmaceutical companies, and even food processing units.
Aerojet Steriz system has provided us the best modality to disinfect our operation theatre in the ICUs. And in addition to the other infection control measures, by implementing this Aerojet Steriz systems, we have taken a step forward by which now we are able to get the almost zero infection hospital environment.
The Aerojet Steriz is on a mission for zero risk to safety and zero risk from hospital-acquired infections.
What I believe is India has its own complex problems, and its solutions must originate from its own talent. So taking forward this belief, we worked on eliminating, targeting a lengthy toxic formalin fumigation process which had many limitations. And here is our innovation, a replacement of that lengthy process, Aerojet Steriz, which offers fast, safe, effective, non-toxic fumigation process. So I would say Radiant Enterprise develops products and solutions for zero bacteria environment at zero side effects.
We've seen how critical a safe environment is for a hospital. Now we'll continue our exploration of hospitals, this time considering the building materials that make up a hospital. Nosocomial infections, commonly referred to as hospital-acquired infections, are surprisingly widespread. These infections can be acquired by patients as well as the hospital staff. To protect their hospital from nosocomial infections, the Global Hospital in Mumbai has adopted the product Korean by DuPont Building Innovations. It is used for surfacing walls in the operation theatre and the intensive care unit. A clean sanitary surface prevents the spread of infection to a high extent. What are the features of Korean that make it ideal for a hospital environment for starters, and other features of Korean?
You mentioned about non-porous, the characteristic of Korean. What that really means is that it does not allow any air, water, or any other fluid to pass through it. And this is very important for a hospital because it does not support any kind of microbial or bacterial growth, right? To put it differently, Korean is like Lord Hanuman of surfaces, which does not let any enemy go past him, right? If you look at other characteristics of Korean, it is seamless, which means you can make continuous surface, which can run into several feet and meters. You can see this is completely a seamless wall, right? And that's the benefit that Korean brings to an application like this.
So today in India, what's the application? What's the reach? Where has Korean made inroads?
In terms of applications, you will find Korean installed as a countertops or wall cladding, exterior cladding, or in a hospital like this for operation theatre. Korean has a big role, and I think we can make a difference in helping hospital achieve or reducing infections that are spread in a critical environment like an operating theatre.
With Korean's application, the walls are 100% safe from contact with various kinds of microorganisms. I want to very specifically walk through the benefits of Korean with you.
Easy to maintain, non-toxic. Any change you want to bring about them, you can bring them at the site. Here if you see, you will find it totally spotless. There is no stain around it, it's one shell, there are no surfaces there, and which helps us to reduce the infection also. They are good to the eyes, good for the patient, and free from infection.
DuPont Korean is striving to provide access to a safe, clean environment through zero risk of post-operative infections. How does Korean integrate with the concept of Shunya?
Shunya to us is about achieving zero in hospital-acquired infections. I think that's a big problem, and I think we have a strong belief that we can play a very important role in making progress against that objective.
As I said earlier, very, very important for us to have minimal infection. If we can bring minimal to zero, there is nothing like it. And I'm very sure Korean is helping us to do that.
We're back with Dr. Homi Bedwar of DuPont to take stock of the innovations on the show. Good to have you back on the show, sir. Living Art Technologies, from what you've seen of it and the work it's doing, do you think it can address the issue at scale?
What I find is when the technology is relatively unique, it addresses the need and is simple. And I kind of get the sense that Living Guard is fairly simple. It uses a fairly simple coating technology on textile. And it has many attributes, I think, that can make this technology scalable.
How far do you think the innovations on the show today are pushing us along the road to Shunya?
All of these innovations are aspiring to get to a place which is better than what was today. And I think we have to applaud that. We have to applaud the journey. We have to celebrate the journey. And it's not going to be a place where you say, we have arrived. It's going to always be a challenge beyond where we are. And the bar continues to be raised. So what one organization or group does, another is going to have to come and do better. And so that's what Shunya is all about. How do we address very daunting challenges? And how do we aspire to meet those challenges?
Dr. Bedwar, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. Great talking to you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Today, we have seen innovations that are challenging us to think about the bigger picture when it comes to human safety. While we have seen the powerful ingenuity that is helping us bring contamination down to zero, there is still much more that needs to be done to bring safety to all other aspects of our lives. That's it on this edition of DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero, a show that celebrates science and innovation, technologies that could secure our future, human ingenuity that could reduce our challenges to zero. Till next week then, goodbye.